Hi there, everyone. Here we are for another episode of the second season of The Tipsy Realtor. And today we are talking about the cocktail grumpy old men and real property reports and why and when you have to get them. And we have our very special guest here, Clint Clark from Clark & Clark Legal, to help explain what it is and when you need a real property report. But as always, we drink first.
That's right. So. I'm very excited about the grumpy old man.
And she means the drink, not me.
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Yes. So, Robin, let's start with a recipe.
Yes. So now the Grumpy Old Man cocktail is a pretty simple recipe. It's kind of nice in the way that it's got 2 ounces of bourbon. 2 ounces of bourbon to go on the cocktail. So it's pretty simple. You don't need any real special things to go
2
on.
2 ounces of bourbon for Wednesday lunch. You know, it's a manly cocktail today.
I know. I'm looking at my drink here and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to fit everything in. It is going to be a super...
Oh, you should have a...
You might need a bigger glass.
I might need a bigger glass, right? Look at that. I don't think we got a bigger glass as an option. That's okay.
There's a fishbowl on the bottom. I can see it.
I can do the fishbowl. So, and then you just top it off with ginger ale. Now, after you top it off with ginger ale, I like stirring my cocktails always to make sure. And we've got a big, huge ice ball in here because the ice balls melt slower. And also, too, is it's going to be one of the gifts that we give away today, which is really exciting. Yes. Plus, at the same time, is keeping in mind it is November. So, of course, we are celebrating the Movember part of November, making everything this month that we talk about to be a manly subject. Yes.
Yes. So it's all about manly real estate topics and manly drinks and manly guests.
That's right. So here we have our drink, which is simple lime juice, bourbon, and ginger ale.
Ginger ale. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's try this.
Cheers.
I am scared.
Wow.
Ooh, it's very bourbon. And very strong. I'm sure yours is really strong.
Yeah, mine is.
And
really
you know
strong.
what? I was expecting it to be a little bit sweeter because of ginger ale.
Yeah.
But I guess the lime juice we put in kind of took over completely. It's very limey and crispy.
It is, and it's got that little bit of a sour tart, which
Definitely has some sour tart. Not a sweet drink.
Actually, my husband would like it. He likes the sour tarts. It would be totally his drink.
See, I could see my husband liking it too. It's definitely
I think
campfire
it's a fine drink for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can taste the bourbon still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Very manly.
You get used to it.
Very manly.
Yes. Start getting hair somewhere.
So now, just as though this drink was very simple with 3 ingredients, usually there's 3 things that make you so angry about your real property report. And that is 1, that it's going to cost you $700 to replace it. 2 is you don't understand why you need it because nothing's changed on the outside. And 3 is why do you need it right now? So
I know.
Clint?
It's a big topic us realtors always have to address first, especially when we're selling detached or non-condo kind of property.
yeah. Or new houses. I know that they never get them with new houses, a real property report. So then people get upset saying, well, my builder didn't give me this, so why? So tell us about some of your experience. What is some of your experience?
So real property reports can be the bane of a lawyer's existence because, 80% of problems on files stem from real property reports.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned right before the show. I can't believe that how high the percentage is for the concerns.
Yeah. And, and if you have a real property report early in the process and there are some issues, you can deal with it early in the process as opposed to it being a closing item where all of a sudden you may have some holdbacks. It may jeopardize your transaction and you're not going to be happy with the advice that we have to give to straighten out the issues.
So one of the things, for example, when I chat with clients about listing their home, it's like, oh, you guys need to get RPR. Most of the time when they look at me like they never heard about it before. Like, why do you think people are so unaware? Like, they all get it with their package from the lawyer when they bought the house.
If it's resale. If it's new, they don't.
Yeah, but a lot of, I'm talking about the majority of resale there.
Yeah, it's pretty important document. I mean, your listing contract states that you'll supply it to the realtors within 10 days of signing.
Yeah.
And all the purchase contracts have standard language that will supply it ahead of closing and that it will have municipal compliance. And municipal compliance can be a bit of an issue. And that's really why you want to get ahead of the game and get it done early so that if there are problems, you can rectify them, you can apply for encroachments or relaxations that you need, or you can try and negotiate out of some of the obligations that you have. But if you don't know and you just sign the standard real estate contract as a seller, you can be in a whole lot of
and we were
heartache
talking
afterwards.
right before the show as well how municipal compliance has changed over the years as well. So people move in.
So it's not static.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not static, and different municipalities have different requirements too. So one of the changes that happened, and this is a number of years ago now, but 2006, the city of Calgary required that window wells and air conditioner units be dealt with on compliance. And so as a result, the surveyors had to change their requirements to now put those on City of Calgary real property reports. But it's not in other jurisdictions. So if you have an RPR that doesn't have that on, that you got when you bought the property, you may well have to update it even though you haven't changed anything, just to show some items like that.
Now, you also brought up in our last meeting for RE/MAX, you brought up a really great point about just because you have compliance doesn't mean all encroachments are actually dealt with. Can you explain that a little bit further?
Sure. So the City of Calgary has a couple different departments that deals with encroachment compliance and encroachment issues. And the first is the development department that deals with compliance issues. So whether or not you have proper setbacks from side yards, rear yards, that sort of thing. And they don't deal with encroachments other than if they see it, they will flag it, put an encroachment advisory stamp, and then it goes to a second department, the Corporate Properties Group, that deals with encroachments pursuant to their policy. And their policies have also changed. In 2020, there was a big change where minor encroachments before 2020, they just accepted you didn't need anything. Now you need an encroachment letter from them. So we have clients today, they're going, well, this wasn't a problem 4 years ago when I bought it. Why is it now? And it's because of the change of the Corporate Properties Group. And sometimes the developer doesn't notice that, and you get compliance and there's no encroachment advisory. And us as lawyers and experts at what we do, we will review that and make sure that there aren't any other encroachment issues. And you can also have encroachment problems with neighboring properties that aren't city-owned that are dealt with privately and not through the City of Calgary. So. Not sure if I answered your question.
No,
Robin,
that absolutely answers. But see, this is so being in real estate. Like we've both been in real estate forever, and it is amazing how much changes on a regular basis, especially with real property reports. And even as realtors, it's hard to keep up. So I can imagine the challenge the public has when we as industry professionals are struggling to keep up with all the changes that happen all the time. Like I didn't know there was a big change in 2020. I knew about the other one. But like all these big changes, it's amazing. And trying to keep up with it. And then I can understand why people are upset when they're getting their real property reports.
Yeah, and it's not cheap, to be honest. If you have to start over, you have to pay for getting survey out, which is about $700. Then you have to get city compliance, which is it's up in price.
Yeah, City of Calgary is $199 for compliance.
$199, yeah.
And real property reports in the
still
city
remember when
are
there was like
usually around
100.
500, yeah. So 700 is the full gamut.
So one of the things I know that surveyor companies, when you hire them, they can do all in one for you. So if you guys don't want to like run around and get in compliance and dealing with this, I know surveyors companies provide extra service for extra fee. So that's kind of available. But yes, like the 2020 change, it was actually very interesting because we just had that conversation in our office and you did a presentation on that. About city encroachments and how they started causing some of the concerns. And it's seriously like my next deal was that problem. My client had an old property, didn't do anything to it. I said we need to update the property report because it was out of the date, and a few things like the minor things like we were talking about, window wells were missing. But the garage, the house hasn't moved, and then they end up dealing with encroachment problem with the city because the garage was encroaching in the back. So it was, and it's people quite actually get worked up about it. So
for sure,
yeah,
they get grumpy.
They get grumpy.
So I feel like I should have like a shaker in my pocket when we like RPR encroachment, and I just shake it up and serve them like a cocktail. It's like goes with RPR.
So with all the people and all the RPRs and everything that you've dealt with, what is the best advice you can give our clients when it comes to RPRs and anyone watching this show?
So really my best advice is to get the real property report early if you're a seller. Send it down to the City of Calgary for compliance. have your realtor look at it, and if the realtor thinks that you need a second opinion from a lawyer, send it to us, and we will make sure that any issues are dealt with.
Yeah.
And we'll provide advice on how you can move forward if there are issues. So whether or not we can apply for relaxation or an encroachment agreement or a license of occupation or a consent letter, or if there's private agreements that need to be done
So many
with a neighbor.
details,
So,
actually, that you can even do,
Yeah.
right? You know, right?
but if you deal with it early
Yeah.
and you have that dealt with and know how you're going to deal with it prior to accepting a purchase contract, you can also deal with it as disclosure items in a purchase contract and get some agreement that the way you're going to deal with it, they're going to accept it. So at the end of the day, there's not big holdbacks, there's not challenges with closing. And that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And you know what your costs are going to be to fix something.
Correct
like
me
that.
if I'm wrong.
And
So
title insurance is also an option.
I was just about to bring up title insurance because
Okay.
I was going to say that's actually kind of one of the cool things that we have here in Alberta is I think it's called Western Protocol or something like
Yeah,
that.
so Western Protocol is different than title insurance.
Oh, okay.
And it can provide some protection, but title insurance is probably
Yeah.
better at protecting it. And there's some jurisdictions in Canada that don't have real property reports. So British Columbia close almost solely on the basis of title insurance. And real property reports and surveys are very rare to close a transaction. But in Alberta, that's not the case. And that's why
Wow.
we have to deal with it
Oh,
here.
that's
Yeah,
good to
it's-
know.
it's
Yeah,
interesting.
so we are more covered here, and you know, more insured. on
Alberta
that
is
kind of-
way better than BC. Like, way
Oh,
better.
BC,
Well, I-
bring cash, right?
I
So-
do the wall. I like the wine, so I can't judge. But that's, you know, and I just wanted to point it out. If anybody is wondering how long it takes to get RPR done, on a good day, it's 10 business days for surveyor to come out and get it done. And then city usually depends how busy they are.
Compliance with the city
Yeah.
right now, because our real estate
Yeah.
market has been so hot in the
Yeah.
last year, they're behind with everything, and it's really delayed. So that's why
Really?
you really want to get on this early.
See.
And if there's issues, we're sending stuff to encroachment department to
Yeah.
find out what needs to be done. They're not even looking at the email for about a month because of how far behind they are.
There you
And
go.
then
Yeah.
it's a 6 to 8 week process to apply for a relaxation, to apply for an encroachment. And that's why if you get it early, even before you list and you find out there's an issue, maybe you hold off listing till you deal with that
Yeah.
problem and then make sure that
Yeah, I
you're
wanted
gonna
to
be able
the
sell
point
that
point it out
property
the
without
timing
problems.
thing because I know
Yeah.
we are behind.
Yeah.
But
The
at
other-
the end of the day, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So the other main thing is when you're signing the listing contract and a purchase contract, the purchase contract, you're also making representation and warranties about the location of buildings on the property, not encroaching and complying with bylaws. And there's no way for you to make that unless you have an RPR that you know it does comply and there's no issues. So again, if you just blindly sign a contract and then get it done afterwards and there's issues, you're already offside and in breach of your contract. So
So
Settle
let's
that.
be
Super
honest. If
important
you
to deal
list
with
with me and Anna, we always talk to you about the RPR right at listing time. We talk to you about what it takes. We give you great recommendations to places like ARC to get those surveys done. So when you're listing with Anna and I, which you should always list with Anna
Absolutely.
and I, that's what you're getting. But I do have a question because this comes up a lot, believe it or not, is people don't listen to us because we're only giving advice and they don't have to. And sometimes people don't listen to us and they do wait till the last minute. They do wait till that offer comes in and then all these things come up.
Yep.
And the other thing is we have some clients right now who are very tight on their amounts that they have. They may not have a lot of cash flow. If someone doesn't have any cash flow and they can't afford to pay for the RPR up front, or they don't realize that there's all these issues until closing, an RPR not having it is not a deal breaker, because that's what they're always terrified of is, oh my gosh, this is a deal breaker. My deal's going to fall apart because I forgot to get my RPR, which is the term we use in our industry, not real property report.
Real property report, yeah.
How do you guys deal with that? Can you talk to that? Because I think that for a lot of people that would be a...
Sure. So if you don't get the RPR up front and we get it at closing and there's issues, we'll try and deal with it in a number of ways. But typically, unless we get compliance before closing, there are some either holdback issues or credits, or it potentially could jeopardize a deal if it's a very significant issue, and depending upon the buyers and their lawyer's position with respect to it. So. But we can certainly, I've been
I think
doing
if
this
there's
for
a
over 30
concern
years.
and we all stay in communication and address a concern in advance, so nobody's surprised, we can probably mitigate.
But just sometimes there
Yeah.
not, and we've had that. You've had that.
Oh, for sure.
Where it's a
And
last minute
we've dealt
thing.
with it and we deal with it and we're very good, and there's not many issues that
You're
we
very
see that we have not
Yeah.
been able to kind of fix, but sometimes the fix does cost some money. So
Absolutely.
that's the only thing.
Well, so real property report, RPR, get it early. One of the dogs is outside, one is inside. They're talking to each other. So-
All right, but now
Yes.
the non-grumpy issues, which is
Ah,
prize time.
Fun time. Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna just
Okay, we've got our disclosures up on the screen.
yes, all the prizes provided on behalf and by Remax Realty professionals. So we got a skeleton looking. So remember, it was a Halloween month.
This was
in
a really
October.
small lawyer's head. That's a big lawyer's head.
Yes.
We're traveling to Brazil where they shrink heads. So.
And some ice balls. I got all the names right here and I spin the wheel.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, everybody. So we got people entered through Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
liking and sharing.
By the way, Instagram is killing Facebook on entries.
help me, my Facebook
Come
peeps.
on.
Come on.
Like, share our videos, show some love, and your name will be entered on, depends on social media, everywhere. Even twice. Some of the people are twice here.
Hey, twice is fair. If you like and share us, you get
We
entered
are
as many times.
We are spinning. Okay, it is the Tipsy Cook.
Nice! That's your second prize, buddy.
Second
Great
cook.
job. You're coming on our
the
show,
show,
Tipsy
Tipsy
Cook.
Cook.
We're finding a day and time for you. Do not think we have forgotten about you.
Tipsy Cook, Tipsy Realtors gonna be getting together, doing some fun stuff.
But
Congratulations.
Nice.
Oh,
thank
yes.
you, congratulations. This month, we are going for the manly prize of a bullet-style cocktail shaker because it is manly, and how manly would you feel shaking that in front of your friends, making your amazing martinis and all the other drinks that we're going to show you this month.
It's like manly hands.
So-
okay, hold on. There you go.
Yeah, see?
It
Manly
says shots
cocktail
fired
shaker.
right in the back. I love
Exactly.
this. Yeah, so there you go. Look at
So,
this.
like, share our show. Make
Yeah.
sure that you let all your friends know how much you love the Tipsy Realtors. And of course, if you learned something today, we love to hear what you learned. So please post it below. Comment on the amazing information you got out of this show. We love to find out what it is you liked the best about the show today, other than the alcohol and the ladies and, the lawyer.
The grumpy old man. And thanks you guys for
Cheers. Thank you
us
for
help
being
you.
our
Cheers.
guest.
My pleasure.
Yes,
Cheers,
absolutely. It
Robin.
was great.
yes.
And
Cheers, everyone.
I actually wanted to say because I was just right before the show, I was sitting, I'm doing bloopers for our videos, and I was so sure that we started doing Tipsy Realtors in November, but unfortunately we missed our anniversary.
1 year?
October 29th was our first episode. Well, Robin aired the first episode by herself of Tipsy Realtors. That's when it started. So we did 1 year of Tipsy Realtors.
And what's great is I now no longer have to drink alone.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
About
Thank
time
you.
to be on the show.
There you go. Thank you guys. And
Thank you for watching us weekly Wednesday lunchtime.
So, like and share our
Yes.
show. We are on all the social medias: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Don't forget about us. We love the love, but most of all, we love when you're looking at buying or selling a house that you call myself and
Yes.
Anna Terranova. And if you need a lawyer, Clint Clark.
Yes.
For all your real estate needs, make sure you refer your friends, family, coworkers, or neighbors you don't like. We can help them move too. Thanks so much, guys. Have a